Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 125, 1.25. If this is your first time joining us for the Untapped Podcast, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We've actually got 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. We go over our anecdotal experience with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, and this is what we have tonight or today, we have physical vitality episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the physical side of our brand. So in these ones, we really get to showcase our expertise because you have 2 certified personal trainers. In these episodes, we cover everything to do with the gym, nutrition, diet, workouts, workout programs, and fitness programs like 75 Hard, supplements, which is really what we're focusing on today. And sometimes we will even take trending topics or articles within the fitness industry and give our thoughts and opinions on those. We also talk about untapped training, which is alive and well. Just got my sister on it, actually, by the way.
Huge.
She's killing it so far this summer. Mm-hmm. So we do cover our untapped training as well. If you guys have any questions or any interest in that, please get a hold of us. We have a lot of different options for you. Monthly programming, personal training, mindset training, help with nutrition, things like that. So guys, any questions or interest in that, definitely get a hold of us as soon as you can.
My goodness, we are so back.
We are back.
We are back. So, ladies and gentlemen, our third format is our breaking news format. That is a current event-based format. Now, same thing as physical vitality when we go over articles and new trending topics. We go over that, but current events-wise in this breaking news format here. We discuss certain things going on in the world. We know because we hear about everything, the world seems like a shit show in a lot of ways. We want to add some clarity to that and help understand that it's not actually the case, that it's not as bad as it really might look, which is a big thing. We are coming to you with solutions on those episodes. We might talk some trash for sure on things going wrong in the world, but we are solution-based in those formats. Now, our fourth format is our Knights Table format. The Knights Table format is a masculinity-based format. Now, we talk on toxic masculinity, what that is, if it's even real, fatherhood, how important that is, and just how to be a man in general. Now, keep in mind, I'm 25, Wurtz is 25, Mitch is 23. We are not coming to you as all put together men. The only perfect man to ever walk the earth is Jesus Christ. So, on to our fifth format. That is our guest format. The guest format is when we bring on an entrepreneur, fitness professional, athlete, doctor, somebody with a great story, essentially anybody who brings you value. We learn a ton from those episodes, even if we know the people, which we usually do. You guys, because of that, will also learn a lot from these episodes. Now, without further ado, the final thing to introduce for the first time in 3 years, give or take, is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Hey, fellas.
Money Mitch, what's up, baby?
I'm here.
So, what was the funniest thing you've seen today?
You getting sprayed as you walked into the studio.
That was, yes.
Yeah,
You were getting your car detailed tonight by none other than DN Details.
DN Details, Drew Nichols.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I figured your answer would be, though, the face you saw when you looked in the mirror this morning.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hold on, though. Quick question. I was actually talking to Drew before we started, and we need to shout him out more. It sounds like he's been... I want to get him some business. So I think you know his Instagram. I didn't look at his Instagram. What is
the actual handle?
It should be DN_details.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, guys, if you need any car detailing, I mean, he's got to be your guy.
Yep. St. Louis area, of course.
100%.
And I guess Columbia area soon.
Yeah, he'll be going to Mizzou.
Yeah.
In the fall this year. Just graduated high school, kind of starting his own business. He's had a lot of opportunities down at where I work as well. And Mitch, he's done your car. What,
That's
3-4 times at least?
Third or fourth time, yeah. Does great work. He's a mobile detailer.
Yeah.
So he'll come to your house. He'll come to your place of work, wherever. So does really good work.
Has his own tools and all the chemicals and products. And
all you need to provide is water.
Yeah.
Not an ad. Not an ad, by the way. He's not paying us.
He is not paying us.
He is not paying us.
Free ad space for sure.
Yeah, but we shout out people that really deserve it. And there's one of those people. So
absolutely.
I also wanted to say, too, because this episode will be out Monday, obviously the day after Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads that listen in. hopefully future dads too. We hope to encourage a lot of us future dads as well as us 3 on the podcast here. So fatherhood, like we talked about, is really important. I want to shout out my own father. I mean, unbelievable for Mitch and I growing up and the impact he's had in our lives. We could go on a whole episode about that. I just won't dive down that rabbit hole, but very thankful for my own father in that realm as well.
Absolutely. So, I can 100% back that up with mine. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Oh, Dave.
Without a doubt.
What a man. What a guy.
That's right. That's right. So, guys, like I mentioned, we do have a physical vitality episode here for 125. Crawling right along, dude.
125 is kind of crazy. Like you did say the 1 1/4, and I was like, oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We are moving.
I know. Which is just awesome. You know, hopefully within the next year or so, we might be eclipsing the 200 mark.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we do hope, guys, that, again, and we've mentioned this, once my baseball season is over with, you know, we get a lot more time together to do podcasts and vlogs and just content and business in general really is the biggest focus. But, you know, we do want to start getting back to some weeks where we are able to record multiple times and, you know, do some surprise episodes and more YouTube exclusives. Guys, if you haven't gone to our YouTube, number one, go do that. Go subscribe. Because we post all the podcast episodes on there. And then we have, like I mentioned, we have vlogs. We also have 2 YouTube exclusives. And for those, those are fun. Those are shorter versions of a podcast episode in a way.
Condensed version, so to speak. Yeah,
and we're always in a new spot. You know, that's something we want to do with those is try to have a different location for each one. That's at least the plan anyway. And so definitely go check those out. You know, there's weeks where we're not able to record a podcast or a full-blown one, so we try to supplement that with the YouTube exclusives and the vlogs when we're able to do those things, and that way we're still putting out content for you guys because that's really what matters. But we do have a physical vitality tonight, and we really want to cover not the 3 most controversial supplements out there, but just 3 that we believe, and any of you that are in the fitness industry in any capacity, 3 that really just have a lot of controversy, you know, surrounding them. And controversy makes it sound like there's sketchy things going on with them. Right. Controversy in this scenario really just means there's 2 sides to these 3 particular things that we're going to cover. You know, people believe things that have been said for a long time about these 3 things, and so they have negative viewpoints of them. Really, for 2 of the 3 anyway, we have very positive viewpoints on them. You know, and one of them, specifically the second one that we're going to get into, is it's marketed very well.
Oh, yeah.
And very cool, but can be dangerous.
Well, what's bad about it too is we'll talk about that, but it also gets to the younger population. Like the marketing catches the younger population,
100%,
which is not who we want to hit on.
Correct. Yeah. But staying in order here, number 1, and we've talked so much about creatine, so much about it, and that's for the number 1 reason being, like, you should be taking it. Like, you should. Your age doesn't really matter. I actually did a little bit of research prior to this, just on creatine and on ages that it's, you know, safe for. Which, granted, like, if you eat beef, like hamburger,
literally red meat,
steak, red meat, like, you're getting creatine from that. Yeah. So, like, you're all good.
But just in case you didn't know.
But there's actually been some case studies that they used 2 to 5-year-olds for like the efficacy and safety.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Actually,
of taking creatine even with that young of kids, and there was really no negatives found. You know, and the typical negatives that surround creatine are things like, you know, dehydration, diarrhea, things like that, and that's strictly just because people don't drink enough water while they're taking creatine.
Some people claim kidney issues or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And that all kind of goes with, like, you just have to be hydrated. Like, anybody that knows either one of us, you see us carry around these enormous jugs of water. And by the way, I think these are definitely the best ones from Yeti.
Oh yeah.
Again, free ad.
Oh yeah. Free ad.
Neither one of us will ever have to buy a water bottle again. For that matter.
We really wouldn't need to unless we want another style or something like that.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, I think I need a new color. I have a bunch of stickers sitting around I got to put on.
If we get the gallon one.
Or if we get the gallon. Probably not if, when.
Yeah,
when we get the gallon.
It's on the table. It's on the table. There's no doubt. The big thing about hydration too, I wanted to hit on is make sure you are getting proper sodium levels as well. Now, this is a lot of the times for the trained population, the physically fit population. You want to be prioritizing your sodium. if you're overweight, obese, it's a little bit more of a risk to prioritize a high intake of sodium. Now, if you're physically fit, hypothetically, you should be good. Again, consult your physician, all that good stuff before you do any of this stuff. But sodium intake is very forgotten about. I mean, I make sure I drink hydration drinks before I go to any type of cardio, et cetera, that type of stuff. Even for workouts sometimes as well, extra sodium, like 500 milligrams or something like that. Yeah. That's very important to have involved to help with the hydration and help actually retain hydration you get out of it too.
Absolutely. So, and some of the pre-workouts that we've talked about have stuff in them already to do that, and on days I don't work out, I mix my creatine in the morning with a hydration stick from First Form. That's what I do.
I love those.
I do too. I do too.
Another free ad, but
tastes good. And really have really solid ingredients. And there's a lot of things in them actually. But the biggest thing with creatine, okay, because now I have some families that I train or that are on my team. And again, I have a 13U team. So I've got 13, 14-year-olds, and then I train all different ages. So I have a lot of people that ask about protein powders, supplements in general, creatine for sure. And I tell them it's like, yes, take creatine. Like even at 13 or 14 years old, yes, 100%. 100%.
Especially by then.
Take at least 5 grams.
Like you just 100%. Said, 2 to 5 year olds, if it's working for them, obviously it's going to work for 13, 14 year olds pretty obviously.
Like those are jacked babies right there.
Oh, yeah. But you want to talk about creatine in our baby's food? 100%.
Yeah. Well, and one of the first lines that I tell them, I go, it's not steroids. It's not steroids. I know that's been a stigma around creatine for a long time, especially kind of in some older generations. And it's like
boomer plus, for sure.
And it's like, number one, like I mentioned earlier, it's in red meat. It's already in there. You're already getting it from naturally eating food. Like you just are. Okay. 2, it doesn't make you unnatural. It's not
because it is natural.
Yes.
Literally.
3, you're not just going to become jacked because you start taking creatine. Like it's just not how that works. It's not TRT. It's not testosterone.
I really wish.
I wish too.
No, but no, it doesn't.
It'd be awesome. Be the cheapest steroid out there. Excuse me. But that's always like the number one thing I say. It's like it's not steroids.
Yeah, and that's where the controversy comes from.
Yes,
that's usually what you hear is like, isn't that a steroid?
Yeah, right.
And it's hard for you and I to continue to keep a straight face during a conversation like that. But we have to.
Yeah.
As people giving out the information, somebody might just not know.
Exactly. And that's where I was going to go as well with that. It's like they're asking a genuine question.
Yeah. Because they've literally been told it is a steroid.
Right. Yeah. And then I back it up with 2 other things. Number 1, stay hydrated. Okay. And I tell them, it's like, why do you think I carry around that damn water bottle everywhere? Mm-hmm. Anywhere I am, that water bottle is with me. And number 3, completely just
no shit. That's funny. Oh, we are rusty.
Oh, number 3, you don't have to load it. That's what it is. Don't have to load it. Man. And that comment or that question is more common around high school guys, I've noticed. Mm-hmm. Because
they're just finding the gym, that type of stuff.
Finding the gym or TikTok or their friends. It's like, well, I thought I had to take 20 grams a day for 2 weeks, and then I can take 5 or 10 or whatever. It's like, no, dude. Like just start with taking a scoop. Just take 5 grams a day. You'll be just fine.
Yep.
And they'll tell them it's like, since you're a male, like you can take 10. I go, anything more than that, it's not going to harm you. You're just going to pee out what you don't use. You know, and if it's a female, I tell them just 5 every day.
Just keep it simple.
Every day, whether you train or not, take it. And especially because most of these kids are so active, it's like you'll be fine even on days you don't lift.
Exactly.
So, I think that's the biggest controversy with it,
Yeah. And again, creatine monohydrate.
Yep.
100% pure monohydrate all the time, like no matter what.
Yep. We both use First Forms.
Yeah.
But really any brand, as long as it's the monohydrate.
I was going to say, yeah. And it's good to have in like a tested facility or whatever, like that's the new thing and whatnot nowadays. Right. And,
I don't recommend getting it from Amazon. I don't recommend getting any supplements from Amazon just because, number 1, you have no idea how long it's been sitting in the warehouse, and that matters. Like there is a shelf life on these things.
Right.
I don't necessarily recommend getting it from a grocery store. There are some more local ones here in St. Louis that are starting to carry First Form, but same thing as I just said about an Amazon warehouse. You don't know how long it's been on that shelf at the grocery store. It could have been put there today. It could have been put there 2.5 months ago. Is it still going to be fine? Yes, because they're sealed and everything, but go to a supplement superstores if you're here in St. Louis.
I was going to say, that's the guys we always work with. So,
Or if you're not in St. Louis, order it straight from the company, whether that's First Form or Evogen or
some other company you trust.
Yes, exactly. If you have a company you trust, by all means, shop with them.
Yep.
Like that's great. We're going to recommend the brands we use because those are the ones we use. And they're not all First Form. A lot of them are, but not all of them. But order it directly from them if you're not able to go into an S2 type store.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. You got anything else on creatine?
Simple summary. It's safe. Take 5 grams to start. Hopefully go up to 10 if you're a male.
Yeah.
And then monohydrate.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah. Boom. It's not a steroid.
Not a steroid.
Poor thing. Yeah.
So number 2, we preface this kind of in the intro here. High stim pre-workouts. Okay, what does high stim mean? We're talking specifically about the caffeine content and the amount of caffeine. We've talked a lot about pre-workouts in the past and whatnot, and we've specifically talked about one that's called Extreme from Advanced Molecular Labs is the company that makes it, and it's a great pre-workout. It is fantastic. The ingredients in it are dosed exceptionally well, and you're gonna feel it. You know, we've said this. If you have a bad lift when you take this specific pre-workout, like you're doing something wrong.
I'm worried about you.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
And it's not like you're gonna feel like you're floating into the gym or some shit like that. But you are gonna be excited.
Yep.
You're gonna have a lot of mental energy, physical endurance, mental endurance. You know, you're gonna be the beta alanine is gonna be flowing, the caffeine is gonna be flowing. It's got 400 milligrams, and as we've said multiple times in the past, like that is the most that you should ever take in one sitting. Like it really is. If you do take 400 milligrams in a pre or in something else, I don't know if there's any coffees or energy drinks out there with 400 in it, but like
I don't think one serving. I don't think so.
and I hope not.
Yeah,
I
I hope not too.
But don't go over that, especially not on a consistent basis. If you have a day here or there, you will probably be fine, but don't make that a habit.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
But the high stim ones we're talking about are the ones that have 600 plus milligrams, and there's plenty of them.
5, 6, yeah, you name it past that point.
I think we found one that had 800 in it, if I remember correctly. It was called like God Mode or something.
Yeah, there's another one called I Am God,
or maybe that's what I was thinking.
Which is that might not be 800 milligrams, but again, also blasphemy by the way with the name. But anyway, that's not the point. But yeah, I mean, pre-work, it's what you said. They're marketed so well. This, like we talked about at the start of the episode, they're marketed so well to say stuff like that, or insanity, or you know, kill this or whatever, whatever, like crazy masculine phrase you want to put on there or something
with
like
a
that.
cool picture,
exactly.
Cool label,
dude, just like pumped out of his mind on maybe on the cover, like Rich Piana or something like that.
Garden hoses for veins.
Yeah, no, literally, exactly. Like you cut him, he's done for. Yeah, like type of thing. Yeah,
it's flowing.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's pumping blood out. But anyways, but that's the thing is, you're exactly right. Those are marketed to catch impressionable young minds. Like usually people under 25 are much more susceptible to that type of marketing.
For sure.
Like we just are. Like naturally. Like you and I, the first time we saw it, we were like, whoa.
Yeah.
But only because we had been educated.
Right.
Had we known better at the time. So like if we were 20 and we didn't know better, who knows?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Even the extreme one I was just mentioning, like the word extreme, it's X-Tream, and it's like super big on the label. It looks cool. Everything else is very basic on all of their labels, which I actually kind of like.
Oh, I love it.
You know exactly what you're getting. Like, it's not a funny name. It's like, okay, this is pre-workout.
This is post-workout. That's like what it says.
This is ecdysterone. Like, okay, cool. You know, it's not like Muscle Builder 3000. You know what I mean? Like it's like, no, like here it is, which is fantastic. Nothing against companies that use odd names. You know, First Form is one of them, like Level 1. Ignition, Formula 1, like they're all weird names, you know. But
at least theirs is more chill. It's not like I Am God protein powder or something like that. Thank God,
for sure.
Oh my,
for sure. Get jacked protein powder.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, relax.
Yeah, like you have zero female customers, don't you?
Literally, yes. That's actually a pretty good point.
I mean,
Level 1. That's very like gender neutral.
Exactly.
Yeah, very simple. Yeah. But we've had some different products that have like caught our attention because of the labeling. Evogen, they have a couple pre-workouts that have like pictures of mountains or
like actually cool artwork on there.
Very cool artwork. Gorilla, they have very cool labels on theirs and different colors, and look at their energy drink cans, like they look cool.
Oh, their energy drink cans are great. Yeah,
like different,
and it's a great energy drink too.
It is, yes.
On the point,
but bright colors, different colors for each flavor. 3D is like that as well. Ghost is very much in your face with, the Swedish Fish ones or the Sour Patch Kids. And so there's an element to that with supplements is definitely the branding of it. But like these high stim ones, if you don't know what you're getting into, like it can be dangerous.
Right.
Well,
and a lot of people forget the idea that caffeine, is technically it's a stimulant, and it's a what do you call it? It's a drug technically. You know what I mean? Like that's a forgotten fact when it comes to caffeine is that it actually is a literal stimulant and drug. And people just ignore that most of the time.
Yes.
People just don't even think about that fact. So, of course, if you overuse it, then you'll have issues.
Yes.
And overusing it again is past that 400 mark, which again, like we even said with Extreme, I don't know, it's like a couple times a month type of pre-workout in a lot of ways. Sometimes
I couldn't even tell you the last time I've told you.
Literally, you and I haven't taken it in a while.
And I used to take it every day.
Yeah, I would get. Because there was one point in time where we took it probably for a month straight, and probably 3 weeks in or so, I was getting anxiety after every workout.
Oh yeah,
and freaking out. Yeah, and again, at the time I was probably 215.
Yeah,
and now it would probably still have the same effect on me because it's that high stim and that hard hitting. It's got the synephrine in there. It's got the other stuff that comes along with it.
10 grams of
citrulline malate.
Malate.
Yeah, and so you have to be intelligent about these pre-workouts because it's like, yes, is a company like AML solid and going to give you a good dose product, but overusing the products is absolutely a line you should not be crossing.
Yeah. And reliance on it too.
Exactly.
We are obviously huge advocates for supplements in general and specifically pre-workouts. Huge advocates for it, but most days, like we take their chiller version, which is they're stim free, it's lower dose in almost everything. There is still beta alanine, but it's like 2.6 grams instead of the actually really effective dose of 3.2 grams. There's no caffeine in it. And the doses of the other ingredients are lower as well. But we're not abusing that. Even that one.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Control your caffeine intake. Yeah. If we're being honest, finding a great non-stim pre-workout, I think, is the best way to go about it.
100%.
Because most people that are consuming, and this is maybe a generalization, but it more than likely stands true. Most people that are consuming a caffeinated pre-workout are also drinking either coffee or energy drinks as well
throughout the day.
So that's going to add up real quick.
It does.
That's again why you and I made a point of going to non-stim without caffeine, because we knew how much we already enjoyed energy drinks, one or two, or some coffee here and there and whatnot, like a solid cup of coffee or whatnot. We knew that type of stuff was something we wanted to be a part of our repertoire.
Yeah.
So we went to non-stim.
And with those things, coffee, energy drinks, like you can space that out throughout the day. If you have a coffee in the morning and then an energy drink in the afternoon, which is what I do a lot of days, like I'm good. I'm good. I'm also extremely active, but like I'll be okay. But if I did a coffee in the morning, then at like noon, I took a higher dosed caffeine or a caffeinated pre-workout, and then also drink an energy drink in the afternoon, like that's too much. Eventually it'll catch up, and we're not saying it's like you're gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Or something like that, but you could be very dehydrated. Your blood flow could be very restricted because caffeine is a vasorestrictor.
Yep.
Meaning it restricts your blood flow. So there are downfalls to it as long as you don't abuse it.
Yeah.
And that's our point there.
And that's the thing is like, that's why a lot of people you'll hear that abuse caffeine to a high level have the heart palpitations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's that vasoconstrictor. And also, it does like knock out the tiredness and whatnot, but naturally, if you're pumping just a stimulant into your body at a very high rate all the time, give your body a break.
Yeah.
Take a week or two off.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Or
like, my goodness.
If you want to use the caffeinated pre-workouts 1 or 2 times a week, mix in the stim free. If that means you have to work out a little bit later in the morning or the day, just so you have maybe a meal in you, or you're a couple hours into the day, you're more awake, then okay, do that. Make adjustments if you need to. If you're a night workout person, stim-free pre-workout is fantastic for you. That is excellent. Because I can tell you right now, you don't want to take 250, 350, 400 milligrams of caffeine at 5:30 p.m. after you're done at your job.
Or the people that are crazy in 6, 7, 8, 9 at night. Which again, a lot of times those people have to get it done at that time. It's the best time they can do it.
Sure.
But that's, again, you're right. caffeine shouldn't be in the equation.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a night shift nurse or something like
right.
that. You know, like that's different
day is just
body
completely
clocks and
flipped.
whatnot, which that's I can't imagine personally.
Yeah.
But
Or like living Alaska
shout out
or
to them,
something.
but not my thing. My goodness. But yeah, I'd say that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Be smart with caffeine intake. If you're going to use caffeinated pre-workouts, again, limit the outside coffee energy, that type of stuff to a certain degree. Again, there's obviously, as we talked about in the past episode with caffeine content, male, female, there's going to be differences as well.
Yeah.
You guys need to make sure you measure that if you're a female, especially, and male still to that degree. Maybe a little bit, again, 100, 150 more milligrams is probably okay for most males, but yeah. So I think that pretty much sums up that one. But let's go to number 3 now. So number 3 is maybe some people wouldn't consider this in the supplement range. I personally do, and I think you do as well. Because supplementation, it refers to, replacing something that's lacking in your body, and that literally could be something like TRT, that's supplementing an issue that's going on with your low testosterone that way. Now, in this scenario, testosterone can fall into this, but it's not really what we're mainly talking about here. It's what is the very hot topic, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. It's been starting to become popularized in the last 5 to 10 years. Last 2 to 3, it's gained a ton of traction, and that's peptides.
Especially I've noticed that too.
Yes, 100%.
Sure.
Peptides, and actually there are some people that consider semaglutide in this range too, in the peptide range, which is like Ozempic and all the other new weight loss drugs people talk about. Some people consider them in the range as well, because it also affects a natural process in your body, that type of stuff. But anyways, peptides are stuff that can help enhance healing. It can also enhance muscle growth. It can enhance sleep. It can enhance libido and sexual function, that type of stuff. It can enhance general health as well. These are all different things. So peptides are basically something like, if you want to look it up, a BPC 157. That one.
Is that B?
Yep.
BP?
Yep. BPC-157 is the product name.
Sounds like a spaceship.
Oh, it does. Something. Yeah, it sounds like some kind of like performance enhancing like space drug or something. I don't even know.
I wasn't even talking. I'm just like, sounld's like a spaceship. It's like, oh yeah, BPC what was it? 157.
Yeah, 157.
It's like, yeah, that's the Mars rover. Oh, okay.
You wouldn't even blink an eye if that was the case.
It's on its way to Neptune.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, Neptune. That was, man, big astrology guy, huh?
Big astrology guy.
Yeah. You Sagittarius. So stupid.
Hey, you just got me to say I'm a big astrology guy, dude. Come on. Astronomy.
Astronomy, you're right. Yeah. I did walk you into that one a little bit. My bad.
That's a dick move.
Yeah, that's we can't be doing that to each other's co-hosts. We can't be having fun with each other. Anyways,
I'm a
guys,
Sagittarius, so I'll have a happy month.
we need to do an episode on that, by the way, because I need to rant on that. Oh my gosh.
I feel like we could bring Lau back on.
Oh,
and she would just cook it.
Oh yeah, it'd be a roast fest.
I would hope so.
Yeah, 100%.
Tom Brady style.
Tom Brady style. Great roast.
Let's just get Nikki Glazer on here.
Gosh.
She's probably an astrology girl.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Come on, Wurtz. You know that. You can always tell.
Yeah.
But anyways, so BPC 157 is a good example of this peptide. It's probably one of, if not the most popular one right now, and for good reason, because it is basically it helps with tissue growth, to put it simply, which is
like Kleenex.
Unbelievable. You're unreal.
We could demonstrate. We got some puffs right here. Puffs plus lotion. You guys are living large over here.
Guys, are you looking for a mentally disabled podcast partner? Then you can have this guy right
here.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Oh shoot. I had to throw that out of nowhere there. But anyway, so BPC 157, it helps with tissue growth, and it actually, there's a lot of efficacy when it's shown to things like ligaments, tendons, especially like issues with even like Tommy John surgery or whatnot, Achilles tendon issues, ACL, that type, like basic stuff. You think of that. If you inject it directly on the site, there's a lot of backing now that shows it enhances that process by, if the Achilles tendon version, I've heard around 2, 3, 4 months, which is insane. By the way, I mean that's groundbreaking. And again, of course, the FDA is trying to shut it down. Which if you're listening to the FDA at this point in time, then you got other problems going on.
Boy.
But that's not the point. TB 500,
isn't that the same administration that added cereal to like the food groups.
That they're like the top of the food group. Yeah. Correct.
Cereal.
That's literally number one right there. That could answer your question about the administration.
Mitch, you a big cereal guy? What do you got, huh?
He's like, let me grab the mic.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Oh man.
I feel like I was more of like a Cocoa Puffs kind of guy.
What about Reese's Puffs?
Well, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I'm not barbaric.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Let's just wake up and ingest 30 grams of sugar straight out of bed.
Mitchell, we used to do that too.
Oh, I know.
I would crush cereal in the morning.
That explains a lot of things. With the Gabel family.
Yeah. Remember though, I was breastfed longer, so it makes sense that I'm bigger.
You are the superior being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any ideas about that though? About ingesting that much sugar in the morning? I wonder. If
the problem is it's with sugar. It's a difficult one because it's not inherently bad. Like just the sugar and carbohydrates and simple sugars by themselves are not like inherently bad. It's more about the overconsumption of them that can run into other issues and whatnot. Not to mention the refined and processed aspect of the cereal.
Right. Well, yeah, in your case, you would have 4 bowls of Frosted Flakes, and you'd be like, "I'm not even full."
I remember it being 4. But,
oh man, you would crush cereal. Come on,
Mitchell. It was at least 2. I'll be honest about that, but it wasn't 4.
I mean, it was a lot, but that was the thing. It doesn't fill you up at all.
Yeah,
it doesn't satiate you in any way.
100%. But again,
possible.
that goes to the process and the refined aspect of it too, because I mean there's also links with heart disease, and when processed foods started to come into play, like that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down there too, which is again why we're even suggesting alternate health options like peptides and whatnot, because of how many issues there are going on now outside of the process aspect and what the FDA tells you is correct or the CDC tells you is correct, which we now know is garbage.
Right.
But again, something like TB500 is very similar. It also affects tissue growth. A lot of times if BPC 157 and TB500 are paired together, there's a lot of research that those two work extremely well for knee issues.
Well, we're seeing a lot of the athletes, like at the professional level that deal with these major injuries like ACLs, elbows, Achilles, whatever. We're seeing it more often now that they're starting to use the peptides for the recovery. And I mean, you mentioned it earlier, the Achilles, the recovery time has been shortened down to 3-4 months, and there's times where that's a year plus.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially like an ACL type deal.
Even if you cut an Achilles recovery down to 6, 7, 8 months, I mean that's ridiculous.
It's massive.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, like we'll only continue to see the numbers and what they exactly are, of course. So like we can't guarantee. Oh yeah, you tear your Achilles, you're definitely gonna be back in 6 months. We can't guarantee that, of course, but it's on the table. Is the point.
Now, is it always an injection with those two, or are there pill forms? Are there?
It's a great question.
Chewable forms?
Yeah. So I know a lot of like hormone / like basically hormone specialization clinics. Like these are the ones who mostly provide the peptides and whatnot. Summit Rejuvenation is who I go through for Clomid, which is clomiphene citrate. It's a fertility drug, but it essentially assists in helping testosterone production as well because it affects LH and FSH, which is a whole rabbit hole. I could go down there too. But
go ahead and give it to me.
Yeah.
No, your natty card.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I mean, technically, yes. Technically, yeah. I'm on the border, yeah.
It's confirmed. Gabel
the thing is
roiding.
The thing is, like I'm going TRT very soon. He's full testosterone soon.
Hell yeah.
Like what? Why not? You know what I mean? So yeah. But anyway, by the way, get your blood work done. Anybody that's listening, that's also important. But where was I going?
I have no idea.
Anyway,
we're talking about spaceship names.
Yeah, it's true. I was. But a lot of times, actually, what's interesting, you were talking about athletes.
Mitch over here.
Mitch is losing it to everything. You were talking about spaceship names, and what's funny about that, or not spaceship names. Wow, now you're getting me stuck on this. Bro.
That was completely real. Oh my gosh. Athletes.
Yes.
Athletes.
On athletes. So what's interesting is that even WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is basically who regulates, actual like doping use in sports.
Direct cousin of Waka Flocka.
You're not helping your case with the mentally disabled aspect.
Dude, we haven't recorded in 2 weeks. I haven't seen you boys in a long time.
True.
Mitch
so
even
true.
longer. Like, man, it just feels good to joke around.
Oh, it does, dude. Just have fun with the boys. Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like we provide a little bit of that for the pod. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
The description of this podcast episode is going to be And they talk about 3 controversial supplements, talk about spaceship names, Waka Flocka gets mentioned.
Yep. 3 low IQ men discuss these topics. 3 knuckle draggers discuss these topics.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Does this section just lose our credibility entirely for the whole episode?
Like, man, I'm not taking creatine if that's what it makes me do.
If it turns me into these guys, then I'm definitely not taking creatine. Oh, my gosh, dude.
Take your creatine.
Take your creatine.
Take steroids.
If you get your blood work done. And your mail. Anyways, so WADA. So I was discussing that because with athletes, the interesting thing about that is now they're trying to regulate peptides too. Of course they are. Of course they are. But the thing is too, is they a lot of times what's interesting about athletics is they tend to use like the less effective stuff, like to help these athletes. Like PPC 157 and TB 500 would be like, that should be a protocol that the NFL uses to get their athletes back on the field.
Right.
Or whatever, MLB, NHL, doesn't matter. Because the healing and growth research that shows for the tissue growth in these peptides, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Right.
And why would you not want your athletes on the field more?
I mean, dude,
it's pretty simple.
On that point there, Ronald Acuna Jr., obviously one of the biggest names in MLB, just won the NL MVP last year, stole 70 bags, hit 40 pumps. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, stud.
That's insane.
Okay. Back in 21, I believe it was. I think that's when the Braves won the World Series. He tore his ACL like 10 games into the year, missed the whole year. They go on to win the World Series. Well, now it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. He tore his other ACL now, and kind of on a freak play. Like nothing crazy was happening, but he was on the base pads.
Seems like those non-contact ones are one that usually occurs.
Yeah. And so he tore his other ACL. So now one of the top young players in the big leagues has torn both ACLs. And to your point here, why would you not want your athletes back on the field, on the ice, the court, whatever?
Right.
But we're talking about your stars too. You know what I mean? And from that standpoint, it's a business thing.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
Face
like,
of the game type thing.
I want to go to the ballpark to go see Ronald Acuna play. Like, that's a special thing to be able to do. But he's not playing, so I'm not paying for a ticket. So you just lost out on my, $50 or $100 or $20, whatever it is, plus whatever you spend on concessions and parking, whatever else. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a 10-year-old kid, his favorite player is Ronald Acuna. So the family of 4 goes to the ball game. There's $200 in tickets, and then there's probably another $200 in concessions. So it's a business thing too, is my point. Why would you not want to allow these things to be used to get your stars back? Yeah. Mike Trout has had multiple injuries throughout his career, and some of them, it doesn't sound like these things would actually get him back on the field quicker. But
which one of the injuries has Mike had now?
Dude, he's had wrist injuries right now. He's dealing with a knee injury, which he'll be back before the end of the year. He's not going to miss the entire season like Acuna. But even guys like Bryce Harper, I believe he had Tommy John, which is unusual for non-pitchers.
Sure,
that's definitely not a typical thing. But Bryce Harper, again, probably a top 3 name in the big leagues, if not the top one. You know what I mean? In some parts or in some people's eyes.
And again, that's a UCL injury, a ligament injury,
exactly,
ulnar collateral ligament injury. Like
yes. And where I was going with him, and actually Shohei Ohtani is in the same boat right now. Did he have Tommy John? Yes, I believe Shohei had Tommy John, but both of them are able to still hit. Bryce Harper's fully recovered. He's playing the field. He's playing first base now. Shohei is just hitting, which is obviously a part of his game. He's a unicorn, and I mean, he's awesome. Like, it's awesome to watch him play baseball. It's phenomenal. But I want to say with one or both of them, they may have actually used the peptides to then get them back so that they can at least swing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's for the same idea. Not only are those 2 guys, or the Acunas, the Trouts, Spencer Strider, he's a starting pitcher for the Braves as well, one of the top pitchers.
Great.
Yeah. One of the top pitchers in baseball. He went down along with a number of pitchers very early in this season, and he had to get Tommy John. So the Braves are missing 2 of the biggest stars in baseball, 2 of the biggest stars on their team, to these ligament injuries. So it's like, if you allow these types of things to be used, 1, your team gets your boys back. 2, from the business side, you have your stars back because there is definitely an element of business to starting pitchers because they only play every 5 days. You know, Paul Skeens, the number 1 prospect in baseball, also Livy Dunn's boyfriend, just happened to go. I just had to throw that in there. It's funny.
Yeah, I knew you would.
He just pitched against the Cardinals when you guys are hearing this last week here in St. Louis. If I didn't have to work, I 100% would have been at that game just to see Paul Skeens pitch. And that's because he's a star of the game. I would go see Spencer Strider pitch, but now I can't. He's hurt. These things aren't allowed in their full capacity, so he can't be back sooner, so you don't get my business.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like there's multiple angles to look at this.
100%. Yeah. And at least it enhances that healing and recovery process.
Correct.
You know, it's not going to get him on the field the next day, of course.
No,
but like,
of course not.
And, you know, there'd be so many other factors, you know, like looking at the strength conditioning coaches in the MLB, looking at, you know, management of their arms and whatnot, that type of stuff too.
For sure.
There'd be other factors, but you can enhance that. At least another factor, like you should want to optimize
fast track
these guys,
whatever.
Yeah. And again, maybe somebody like Bryce did take it, or for all we know, but it's like it's interesting because I mean I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, Mitch, will you look it up
ahead.
if Harper or Ohtani, if they used peptides in their recoveries from TJ
or what
Force?
they used in general.
Well,
Yeah.
something you guys can discuss while I do that. You were telling me about some gentleman in the NFL. I forget his name.
Yeah, Christian Watson.
Yeah, you
So
were telling me how
yeah.
he kept getting injuries on one side
hamstring injuries. Yeah, we can definitely
because
touch
he had
on
a
this.
deficiency in how his body moved, but that was muscular wise, not ligament wise.
Sure.
What do these play into muscle wise rather than ligaments, or does that even connect?
That's a great question. What Mitchell's discussing is Christian Watson, receiver for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I was like Packers.
Yeah,
right?
you know that name. Yeah. Receiver for the Green Bay Packers. It actually, he had been having the last 2 seasons. It said he had played a total of 11 games.
Okay.
Which is dog shit, essentially.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a guy on a high contract and whatnot, and a good receiver off the field too.
Barely. Actually, it's not even a third of the games in 2 seasons.
Which is crazy. But so this guy had only played about 11 games in the last 2 seasons. Now, just recently, I think this was in the last few months at least. Just recently, he went to Wisconsin, and they're like science and sports performance sector of University of Wisconsin, which sick university. But the point is, he went there and they actually tested. They were like, why in the hell is he having issues with his left hamstring? Why is it tearing? Why is it not keeping up with the right one? Whatever it is. And they found that he had a 20% strength asymmetry in his left hamstring.
Oh, wow.
20%.
That's substantial.
Manageable is like the 8 to 10% range.
Yeah.
Which, and again, I want to speak on this too, but like asymmetries are very normal. Like everybody's
for sure.
Everybody's asymmetrical.
Right biceps bigger than your left.
Every human's
right
going to be asymmetrical.
quad.
So there's no way you can be 100% even on both sides. That's not possible. But it was noted that was probably the main reason his hamstring was having issues like pulling, tearing, etc. Because his right hamstring was moving so damn fast that his left hamstring couldn't keep up strength-wise.
Yeah.
And then it would blow up. So very interesting there. But what Mitch is asking too, and what's very interesting, I mean, absolutely. So BPC 157 nothing over there. Mitchell, do you want to give an update on that if you did find anything at all?
Yeah. Well, the first thing when you search, you have U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, USADA.
There you go. Yep.
The,
USADA. Yeah.
BPC 157, experimental peptide creates risk for athletes. Human lab rats injecting themselves with peptides. So people obviously don't really like this thing at all.
No, of course not. It makes you better. Why would they like it?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if the orthopedic industry gets ruined by something like this because you can heal from something like this, I mean, that's of course going to hurt their dollars. Like the orthopedic surgeons, all that stuff. Like, of course, it's going to hurt their dollars if someone comes into play like this and they're popping back out, and all of a sudden they never have an ACL surgery again.
Right.
Who knows? Again, who knows? Like the uses of these, because we haven't even gotten to use the full thing of them, because only a hormone clinic like Summit Rejuvenation is using that type of stuff, or actually carries that type of stuff. I've only seen hormone clinics carry this.
Yeah.
Which hormone clinics are demonized as it is.
It's not like you're going to find this at Walgreens.
No. Yeah, I wish. But again, like you asked, actually, I meant to go back to oral and injection. Injections are shown to have the most effect.
Yeah.
There is oral versions, but they seem to not be as effective.
Sure.
Some people, I think it's just more digestible than doing an injection, so they might take the oral.
Yeah. Or fear of needles.
Exactly.
Things like that.
Exactly. So the Christian Watson thing again, going back to that. So obviously we talked about asymmetries and whatnot, but that was, and they had actually done hamstring focused training and dropped it from 20% to 8 to 10%.
Yeah.
Which is,
awesome.
I mean, wild.
Yeah.
And again, it remains to be seen as of this season if it's going to help.
Sure.
Hopefully it does, which I imagine it probably would. But the point is, it's super cool. But something like that, absolutely, BBC 157, TB 500, these other peptides in general just help the body function. There's a lot of them. I'm blanking on a few names, but the point is that these are all absolutely possible treatment options that should be considered. Mm-hmm. I mean,
even for non-athletes too, by the way.
Even for non-athletes, like somebody that might be having shoulder issues or something like that, it could be something that you look into.
Right.
I actually had a patient at Health Source that I talked to about it, and I was like, just explore it, see what you find. And he's like, and literally like 2-3 weeks later, he was like, yep, I'm using it now. Yeah. And this guy's been making, like, he's already have a sling.
Nice.
Crazy progress.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool stuff. So that's awesome. But so these things, like Mitch is saying, should be considered.
Yeah.
Because if same thing you said with the MLB athletes, you want these guys on the field.
Yeah.
You want the best performers on the field
100%.
and healthy the whole time. Now, also what's cool about the muscle aspect, there's one called MK677, another spaceship name.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
MK677, that one is a growth hormone secretagogue, which basically just mimics the effects of growth hormone. Growth hormone, again, assist in muscle growth, assist in libido and function in general throughout the body, that type of stuff, rebuilding tissue, etc. So that one is some people have been taking, they've had like the kind of mid-natty card, like a lot of influencers have been taking that and whatnot.
Kind of ripped.
And then they don't even mention it a lot of times too. It's like you should also be mentioning that you're on these type of things as well. Like,
if you are like an influencer, like
especially,
in that space.
yeah, 100%.
Yes.
If you're just at the gym, and
Yeah,
not
right.
anything else,
It doesn't matter.
You don't need to tell anybody. It's okay.
But if you are someone that is a coach,
Making
a
money
trainer,
off it.
making money off of it,
Yeah.
yes, then you need to be upfront about
100%.
it. There's also nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. Because I mean, it all it does is assist in you just putting in the hard work.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like these type of
Exactly.
things. You know, and there's also weight loss ones like GLP-1. GLP-1 is another popular one that just came up recently and actually has possible really good indicators that has like, it takes out the side effects of semaglutide, but has the same effects.
Wow.
Like talking like helping with weight loss and decreasing appetite. Again, minimal, if none side effects, that type of thing, which is insane.
Yeah.
So again, like this could be the next precipice of technology for health.
Yeah.
And again, because it's pretty relatively affordable, it's being stamped down by
Sure.
our wonderful government. But yeah, so that's a long one on the peptides, but that's essentially the run through I wanted to give there because they are something everybody should be looking into. I'm not saying go and just take them. By no means.
Yeah.
Talk to the hormone clinics, the specialist at those hormone clinics and whatnot. Get your blood work done, that type of stuff first before you ever just are like, let me go to a back alley and get me some BBC 157 or MK677. And next thing you know, it's meth or something like that because you're on back alley.
Right.
Or your local guy in your gym locker room.
Yeah.
No.
God knows where that came
from. That's some contaminated trend for sure. For sure.
Definitely SARMs.
oh yeah, that's probably actually more realistic.
You might grow a third eye.
Yeah. It's no go on SARMs, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you want to have 50 nanograms testosterone, total testosterone, to be a woman, essentially. I mean, that's literally what they'll do to
In
you.
today's world, you might be what they want.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah. What is a woman?
Okay, Matt Walsh. Gosh.
No, literally. No, that was definitely a long-winded answer to the peptides. Hopefully you guys can follow that. Even I learned a lot, before we started recording. I was like, hey, I don't know a ton about the peptides, like certainly not as much as you. Like I want you to kind of take the lead on that and break that down. I think you did that really well. So hopefully you guys kept up with that. There's obviously some funny names and some big words thrown in there. Way too big of words for me to pronounce. Like I can't do that.
Right. Knuckle dragger.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I mean, those three guys, like we picked those out for a reason. Just very popular things right now in the fitness industry, and really always have been and probably always will be. And hopefully, with all this peptide research that's coming out and the popularity increase with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they become more of a popular used item in the right circumstance.
Well, and again, like hopefully it pushes a wave that we kind of roll over the FDA and all this other garbage and whatnot too.
Right.
Like, that's the thing.
Right. So like you mentioned multiple times, guys, go get your blood work. You never know what you might be deficient in. I need to do that as well, honestly, because I do take certain things and I take them without getting blood work. It's just kind of an assumption. Now, knock on wood, I haven't had any side effects or anything like that to anything for that matter, but still something I even need to know. You know what I mean? So,
which, I mean, truthfully, the stuff you take is natural.
It was very safe.
Very safe.
I'm not
stuff.
injecting anything.
Like I wanted to clear that up. Too. Like, I know
right.
you're taking very fine.
Right.
Fine. Yeah.
I take creatine. I take vitamin D3. I take a multivitamin. I take protein.
Might be like some zinc and boran in there or something like that. Like other 2 vitamins. Like very normal stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Like, I think Wurtz is injecting stuff. He just doesn't even know what he's doing to him.
Wurtz is ripping a Deca and D-ball cycle right now.
I think he snorts just caffeine on his own too before his workouts.
You buy the powder form of caffeine?
Just caffeine, yeah.
Oh man.
Let's go, boys.
That'd be greasy.
Pretty sure that's called cocaine.
I would say so.
Yeah.
The booga sugar. Or the Nicaraguan gas.
Dude, can you stay focused?
Yeah. Sorry, I get so off topic.
All over the place tonight. Okay.
You literally said tissues instead of tissue growth. I was like, what?
We do. We got some puffs right here, dude. I mean, Puff the Magic Dragon.
Great brand. Yeah. Free ad.
No, they're actually paying us.
Yeah, Puff tissues. That'd be crazy sponsor.
All the talk of First Form and S2 and Yeti. It's like, no, actually, we have a tissue brand.
I mean, we use them, so it's like
I think everyone.
They throw some dough our way, then we'll be talking.
Yes. Yeah. What we need to get sponsored by is Dude Wipes. Fellas, game changer.
Wow. I mean,
They're awesome.
Or Manscapers.
True. Shout out to our buddy Gabe. He got me on the Dude Wipe train.
Gabe.
It's awesome.
Of course it was Gabe. Oh my
God. Dude, we really could bring Gabe on, and it would be such a funny episode.
Oh, it would actually be like a stand-up comedy episode.
It really would.
It'd be basically us bringing on a stand-up comedian guest. Essentially is what it'd be.
Yeah. Any of you that listen or watch that know Gabe, we're spot on with that. Like his storytelling, his delivery, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
So true. He's such a stud.
We didn't feel a need for a Q&A question tonight. There's probably going to be some questions off of this episode, actually.
Sure.
So, guys, any questions that you do have on any of the 3 that we talked about tonight, any other supplements that you've heard controversy over, don't bring us controversial questions about protein powder, please. It's just protein.
Although there are some trash brands.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Like Walmart and all the other places.
Again, don't order your protein powder from Amazon.
Yeah.
Don't get it at Walmart.
Yeah.
Don't even get it at a grocery store. Go again, do the things that we mentioned earlier. Order it directly from them. Go to an S2 if you're local to St. Louis or Springfield or Kansas City. I had another point there, but any questions you guys have, please bring them our way. We clearly love talking about supplements, talking about health-related things, fitness-related things. We spend a lot of our personal and free time researching these and talking about them. So please, bring us your questions, and if we don't know an answer right away, we'll be like, I don't know, but I know where to look. I know who to ask. I will get an answer for you.
And that's the thing too, is if you guys, if especially on the peptide stuff, if I talked out of turn at any point, I basically gave as much knowlage as I had on the scenario. That's about my limit of my knowledge to that scenario. So if you caught something that's is that right? Actually, I mean, you can literally DM me about that one. Yeah. I'm not a physician. I'm not a hormone specialist or anything like that. That's just my general knowledge that I'm telling you guys about. Yeah. So that's also a key.
Yeah. No, 100%. Guys, if you enjoyed this, if you learned something, which let's be honest, we know you did. Okay. We taught you 2 names of spaceships. So
3, I guess.
3, yes.
Yeah.
MK Ultra. I mean MK677.
That's funny. That's funny. I mean, mind control, peptide. Question mark?
Mick Ultra?
Maybe who knows? Maybe that's
beer.
What?
Mick Ultra? MK Mick?
M Ultra?
Yeah.
Make Ultra a solid beer.
We got to stop.
We got to call it, boys.
If you enjoyed it, if you learned something, guys, please share the show. It's free. Number one, it's free to do that. Okay, put it on your Instagram stories. Text it around to your friends and family. Talk to your friends and family about it. Get a huge blow up picture of our faces and post it on the wall at your work so that everyone sees it.
You're on a roll.
Because it's like, who are those guys? They're two good looking dudes.
Maybe I'll have to bring that into Health Source.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a podcast.
Yeah.
This is me podcast.
Yes.
We podcast.
Yeah. I podcast. me have podcast. You listen. We got to show Mitch's reaction right now. Bottom line, please share the show, guys. If you like to watch us on YouTube, take a screenshot of your phone, take a picture of your computer screen, of your TV, whatever, of your movie theater screen, because that probably makes sense. Take a picture of it, share that. And
imagine they have a home theater and they're watching us in the home theater on YouTube.
Awesome.
That'd be tough.
If you do that, please show us. Like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, that is awesome. Yeah. I need to somehow get us back into the movie theater we started this at. Put us up on the grand screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Actually.
And then we could illegally sell tickets to it. Like, yeah, you're coming to see Star Wars.
And then we have Untapped movie. And it's just our podcast on repeat. And that's it for like 20 hours straight. It's just the YouTube.
We played you.
Yeah, we say it's Marvel Endgame 2. And it's actually just our podcast on repeat.
Sorry, we can't provide refunds.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
We're taking all that cash.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I don't even know where I'm at on the outro. So, guys, share the show. Until next time, peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.